Hey, it's Candy. Did you know that I have a quiz to help coaches choose their niche? Yeah, I do. It's super popular and it has been taken more than 20,000 times. This is a fun quiz that takes you about 2 minutes to do, and it will probably give you way more clarity on choosing your best coaching niche. So now, whether you say niche or niche, it's going to work for you. And if you're a coach and you have been stuck in niche indecision, wondering what to do, then you should take my quiz and find out what you learn. You can take the quiz today at coachnichequiz.com. That's coachnichequiz.com. Okay, let's dive into this week's episode. Welcome to She Coaches Coaches. I'm your host, Candy Motzek, and I'm going to help you find the clarity, confidence, and courage to become the coach that you are meant to be. If you're a new coach, or if you've always wanted to be a life coach, then this is the place for you. We're going to talk all about mindset and strategies and how to, because step by step only works when you have the clarity, courage, and confidence to take action. Let's get started. Welcome back to She Coaches Coaches. I'm your host, Candy Motzek, and I am so excited that you're here today. In this episode, I'm doing something special. You're going to get to hear specific excerpts from a recent workshop that I did called Nail Your Niche. It is one of the biggest topics that new coaches bring to me. So I did a full workshop on it, and I am sharing bits and pieces, top tips for you. It's a deep dive into how to find your perfect coaching niche and how to set your business up for success. So whether you're starting out or you've decided that it's time for you to pivot or refine your focus, there is something here for you. Grab a notebook, settle in, and let's dive into some key highlights from this powerful session. So what are we going to talk about today? So the first is we're going to have a little introduction. We've already done that. Then we're all about niche today. So when you have questions or comments or feedback that you're looking for, I'd really appreciate it if it is all around the topic of niche. I think that that's going to be really a helpful constraint for us as we work together. So then we're going to go into what is a niche? You know, there is a lot of words that get thrown around online, and it can be kind of confusing. So let's just get that really defined. What exactly is a niche, and why do you want one? Why is it an important thing? And then we're going to talk about what's the difference between a niche versus an avatar. And again, you're going to have maybe a clearer perspective on what we're talking about. Following that, we're going into categories, niches, and sub-niches. I want you to see all the possibilities that are available for you when you niche. Then we're going to do some work. I'm going to give you some questions, and you're going to do some journaling so you can narrow down your own niche. And we're going to do a little bit of 3 ways that I can show you how to validate your niche. So you might come up with a niche, and then the question is it going to work? Is this useful, not useful? Is this something that's going to be really difficult? Is there a need for it? And so how to validate your niche, how to know whether this is going to be a good selection for you. And then we're going to wrap it up with questions and answers and coaching. You can ask me for feedback. So that's what we're covering today. You're going to understand a few things. You're going to know what a niche is and what it is not. You'll know the benefit of having a niche and how it actually makes creating clients so much easier. You're going to uncover potential niches that maybe you hadn't thought of. I believe that every one of us has multiple niches available to us. And then it's up to us to choose which of these multiple niches is going to be right for us. So what is a niche? And I know some people say niche, some people say niche. I say niche. You're going to hear me use that terminology all the time. So what is it? So I went to Google, and Google says this: that a niche is a specialized segment of the market for a particular kind of product or service. I also like this word. Or it's a group of people with a specific need. And so the way I like to describe it is your specialty. It's your what. What is the thing you help people with? So the what, the problem you help people solve, or the goal you help people reach. It's the what. Why is it important? So here's a few reasons. First, at the bottom, I'm going to start at the bottom. We don't know why, but that's what I'm doing today. The truth is, nobody buys coaching. And I say that, and I have a hard time saying it because I love coaching. I love having a real, pure coaching conversation where the coach asks the questions and listens and holds the space while the client comes to their own solution. And through that, they grow and create more of what they want. So I love coaching, the process of it. But people don't buy that. More than likely is because they have no idea what it is. The only people who know what coaching is coaches, right? So nobody buys coaches. What they buy is a solution. They buy a result. They buy the solution to their challenge or help getting the goal that they haven't been able to get themselves. So what we do is we have a niche, the what, your specialty. And then through helping people reach that goal, you will do coaching as well. So more benefits of having a niche, it makes it so much easier to attract and sign dream clients. It gives you clarity. And then when you know your niche, you're going to know where to find your clients. So for example, what do I mean by that? If you are working with people who are inactive and want to get some level of fitness, maybe they've just never done anything physical and they're very uncomfortable going to a gym, where are you going to go find clients? You're going to go find clients in the place where those people are looking, how could I get started without having to go to a CrossFit gym and feeling really intimidated? Or maybe if your niche is helping parents of middle school children, then guess where you're going to find them? You're going to find them at the PTA meetings, at the PAC meetings. You're going to find them as they're getting their kids ready for school. You're going to find them at events that their kids are attending or sports or other activities that their kids attend. So you're going to know where to find your clients. It's way easier to speak clearly to the people you help because you've got a clear definition about what you're going to help people with. So that makes it easier for you to speak about it. It's simpler for you to create client attracting content. And this attraction marketing is a big benefit of having a niche. Client attraction marketing says this: I create content, I talk about the thing that I help people with. And I talk about it in a genuine way where I really show up for my clients. And because people hear that or see social media posts, or when you're at a networking event or any kind of a social event, and you're talking about what you do and how you help people, it helps your potential clients raise their hand and say, I want some help with that. It also helps you to make more money by designing a signature coaching package that offers a desired solution. So there's 3 myths that I often hear, and I just wanted to bring them forward. I wanted you to hear them. And I'm curious if you experience any of these myths. So the first myth that I hear from coaches is saying, if I have a niche, it's going to make it harder for me to sign clients because I might miss out. And in fact, the actual truth is that having a niche makes it easier, simpler to attract your dream clients. It makes it simpler to create content. It makes it simpler to meet people that you can help and to design an irresistible coaching package. So if that sounds like you, if you're kind of thinking, oh, if I have a niche, I might miss out, let me know in the chat. I'd love to hear from you. The second big myth that I hear is this: I am multi passionate. I've got so many interests. If I choose one specialty, I'm going to feel bored and trapped and stuck. This is a super common myth that I hear. It's a misconception that a lot of coaches have. And so, because they're worried about getting trapped or bored or stuck, they hesitate to choose that niche. But the actual truth is this: every client that you work with brings their life, their unique experience to coaching. And so not only is every client different, but every call is different. You're never going to have the same coaching session twice. So having a niche helps you focus your marketing message. So that's the thing that you use to attract your clients, but you could still say yes to any client. And once you're their coach, they're going to bring their life stuff to the calls as well. So you're never going to get bored because every individual is different. Every call is different. It is always fresh. And then third, you worry that you might make the wrong choice. You might be looking at two or three different niches and you're wondering, oh my gosh, how will I ever choose? You're thinking that maybe one is easier than the other, that there's a magic niche that is going to be perfect. Here's what you need to know is once you choose your niche, you're going to go and you're going to validate it. And I'm going to show you a little bit about how to do that later today. So that's the first thing. You might be looking at three different niches. Oh, you can go and validate which one you think is the better choice for you. And secondly, you can always pivot. You might start with one niche, give yourself some time with it. And then as you evolve and grow, you can pivot to another niche. Nobody says you have to stay with the same niche all the time. But I do recommend that you give yourself a chunk of time to specialize in that one niche before you switch. You don't want to switch too often or switch too soon because you're going to be sabotaging all the work that you've put in on that niche. So let's talk about niche versus avatar. So remember I said the niche is the what? It's the challenge or problem that you help your clients overcome or the goal you help them achieve. So it's the what, it's your specialty. The avatar is the who. So there's lots of different names for the avatar, and you will have heard this. You will have heard things like target market, ideal client avatar, ideal client, dream client, ICA, or avatar. And those are all words that mean about the same thing. It's the who. So an avatar could be busy moms, or it could be teachers, or it could be CEOs. So those are all different who's. So here's a couple of examples that I want you to see down here so you can really see it in play. What's the difference between niche versus avatar? So the first one is helping busy moms go back to their careers after maternity leave. So the who is the busy mom. That's the avatar. And the what is the career, the return to the career after maternity leave. That's the what. The second example is helping CEOs get into the best shape of their life. The CEO is the who, that's the individual, it's the avatar, and the what is to get fit. That's the niche, get fit. So, like with this bottom one here, this helping CEOs get into the best shape of their life. So, the niche is get fit, right? And so, you could help busy moms get fit. You could help CEOs get fit. You could help first year university students avoid that 10-pound freshman year weight gain. So all of that niche is available to you, but then you get to choose the group of people that you most like to work with. There are three major categories that every niche falls into. So when I think of a category, I think of like a big bucket, okay? And so in that big bucket, the three are health or relationships or money. Now, there's a fourth that we see a lot these days, personal or spiritual development. And that would be something like a meditation coach or somebody who helps somebody find the purpose of their life, create more a deeper spiritual experience in their life. So that fourth category is it's present, but if you actually take it back to its root, you'll still see that it falls into health, relationships, and money. And I just wanted to put that there so that I address it right out in the open. So, what do I mean by these three main categories? So, again, I'm thinking of three big buckets. You've got a bucket of health, you've got a bucket of relationships, and you've got a bucket of money. Now, let's look at some of the variety that might happen within those buckets. So, look at this. In the bucket of money, major niches might be wealth, debt management, career, or money mindset. So all of those fall in the money bucket. In the health bucket, some examples: nutrition, overcoming illness, fitness, weight loss. In relationships, it could be things like parenting or dating or divorce or friendships or self-love. And in personal or spiritual development, you could be looking at things like meditation or stress management or connecting to your life purpose. So I don't want to get too hung up on this personal or spiritual development one. But when I look at stress management, at the core, I think that there is a component that is health to me. You're working on your mental and physical health. Right? Meditation, similar. You're working on your mental, physical health, but you're also working on your relationship with yourself, who you are. And connecting to your life purpose, you're working on your relationship with yourself there. So relationships can be with others or with self. And health can be mental health or physical health. Money, every aspect of money. And that's why career falls in that money area. So categories, three main categories: money, health, relationships. And then within each of those categories are many major niches. So we've gone from category, now we're going to go to niche. And then notice we've got this thing that I call sub-niche. Now, I'm going to go through a few examples for you. Down at the bottom is the place that I want you to look. So if I am a relationship coach, I might think that that is a tight enough niche, but I'm not 100% sure that that's true, because if my dream client is looking for help, and the easiest is they might ask a friend, or they might go to Google, or they might go to YouTube. They would not probably type in this. They wouldn't say, how do I find a relationship coach? It's so broad, right? Am I looking at my relationship with my husband? Or am I looking at my relationship with my kids or my in-laws? Like, it's so broad. People don't say, how do I find a relationship coach? So while relationships is a niche, it's not a fine enough specialty for you to really be speaking to your dream client. Here's what I mean by this. So within the niche of relationships, here's three examples of a relationship coach, taking it from the larger niche and narrowing it down. You could be a dating coach. You could be a coach that helps somebody find true love. You could be a coach that helps somebody find love after a tricky divorce. So notice why this works. Instead of saying, how do I find a relationship coach? Somebody would ask their friend, listen, I want to start dating again. How do I start dating again? That's a specific problem that somebody's looking for help with. That's how a dating coach would be more easily found. And here's a second one. How do I find love after a nasty divorce? You might be speaking with your friends at the book club, and you're like, I'm over with the divorce. I want to move on with my life. I really want to go out and find a new life partner, somebody that I love. How do I find love after a nasty divorce? You see how that specific question is something somebody would actually ask? So when somebody asks a specific question and you show up as the dating coach, you're a match. or you show up as the help someone find love after divorce, you're a match. So that's the difference between niche, relationships, and sub niche. Second example is if I'm a health coach, people don't generally say, how do I find a health and fitness coach? They're going to ask a specific question. So the higher niche, health and fitness, sure, it's a niche, but it's not a question somebody asks. It's not somebody doesn't go on to Google and say, how do I find a health and fitness coach? Because they know that it's so broad, it's not actually answering the real question. Let's find out what might be more appropriate. Okay, so we're narrowing it down. Health and fitness, sub niches of health and fitness could be weight management. Maybe somebody wants to gain weight or gain muscle. Maybe weight loss or fat loss. Those are slightly different. Or weight loss for women in menopause. Do you see how, and I just kept it at weight because I wanted you to see that there's so many different ways of looking at weight. Do I want to gain weight? Do I want to lose weight? Am I at a time in my life where I need additional help? I know so many people that had no problem managing their weight when they were younger, and then they hit menopause, and then they had problems with their hormones, and they got heavier than they wanted to be. So each is a different sub niche. So you notice that nobody is going to Google, how do I find a health and fitness coach? But they will Google this. What's the best way for me to lose weight? How do I lose weight when I'm menopause? See, those are questions somebody would ask. So again, when your dream client has a question and you're the answer to the question, it makes it so much easier for you to be attracting your dream client because you're the answer to their question. So when I look at niches, I want you to look at this Venn diagram here. So what I know is that niches are the intersection of where your interests and passion, you the coach, your interests and passion connect with your skills and intersect with your experience. This area here are wonderful potential niches for you. And how do you discover that? We do the work. I'm going to ask you some questions. You're going to do some journaling, and then you're going to have a little bit more of your own input for what might be a good niche for you. Now, notice that this is the place that we start. We start with the coach. What about you? What experience do you have? What interests you? What skills do you already have? We don't want to go out looking at the client yet. The most important thing is, what do you bring at this point in choosing your niche? So the first step is we're going to brainstorm. And the way we brainstorm is we answer questions. Let me go through the 6 questions first, and then I'm going to put some time on the clock, and I'm going to ask you to journal. And you're going to answer these questions. Okay, so these are the 6 questions. First, I want you to create a list of your skills. Now, remember in that Venn diagram, there's a circle that is skills. You might have a lot of skills, but you might not like all of them. You want to create that list of all the skills that you can think of. And then later, you're going to say, well, not these ones. I only like these ones. So examples of skills: how to plan meals, how to manage your money, how to budget, how to do Excel, how to design fun workouts, how to play the piano, how to draw, how to have fun conversations with people you meet at Starbucks. Create a list of all the skills you can think of that you have. The second is, what do people come to you for help with? So in my family, I am the family tech guru. If anybody has problems with their tech stuff, anything computery, they come and they ask me. What about you? What do people in your life come for help with? Do they ask you for help with their resume? Do they want help with their homework? Do they want help with math? Are you the listening ear to help somebody through a hard time? Are you the person that if they need a ride to go to the doctor, they know that you're always going to be available to help them and to support them as they go to that doctor's appointment? What do people come to you for help with? The third question you're going to be looking at is, what are some of the challenges that you've overcome? Do you have a blended family and it's a strong blended family? It took effort to get there. Have you lost 20 pounds and kept it off? Have you done something like write a book? Or maybe you've got a blog and you know how to blog. And it was hard at first, but you figured it out. So, what challenges have you overcome? And the fourth question is, what have you accomplished? I want you to put that hat on to remember that you've accomplished a lot in your life. You have areas that you did things you never thought you could. You're proud of those areas. Find them. Did you negotiate a raise because you did great work? Have you learned how to go to row? Close to me, there's a rowing club close by. Have you learned how to row? Did you go back to school and get a degree? Maybe while you were balancing a busy work life. What have you accomplished? What are you proud of? The fifth question, what successes have you experienced? Did you get a super fun promotion? Did you get accepted to an interesting intern program? Did you find the love of your life? Did you take a year off and travel the world? What successes have you experienced? And number 6, what interests you and what do you enjoy learning about? Maybe it's cooking quick, delicious, healthy meals. Maybe it's travel. Maybe you're the person who can go into any pantry and you love creating a meal just out of whatever is there. Maybe you love to write poetry or paint, or maybe you're really great at painting front doors of houses. Maybe you love economics, or you read a specific kind of nonfiction book. So those are the 6 questions that I'm going to ask you to spend some time with. Those 6 questions that you've written answers to, some of them fall in the interests and passions, some of them fall in experience, and some of them fall in skills. And so the place that you're looking for is the place where they intersect, where you're interested, you've got skill, you've got experience, where that comes together. So for me, just that comment about I do ballet every Wednesday. Okay, I love ballet. So that is a yes in my interest and passions. I have skill in ballet. I started like 25 years ago. So I've got 25 years of experience and skill. And it was a challenge starting something new as an adult, like starting something and being terrible at it and still not very good, but I'm better than I was. So even though it's not related to coaching, you see how those 3 things came together, and it could be a potential niche. It might sound something like this: how to help midlife women start a passion project that they have always wanted to do and never had the courage to do it. That's a niche, right? So do you see how I took my experience, my interest, and my passion and said, what was I doing? I always wanted to dance. I'd never done that before. And it was hard and it was embarrassing because I was terrible. And then I stuck with it. And so there's a midlife woman doing something she always wanted to do, a passion project. And she stuck with it, and to have the courage to do it. So do you see how those things, how they come together? So you've got a list of things, and you could go and say, okay, these are all interests. These are all skills. This is my experience. And you could figure out where they intersect, right? And know that no matter what you've written, whether you've written 5 lines on a page or 25 lines on a page or 5 pages, every one of those things that you wrote is either an interest or a skill or an experience. And there's a place where they come together. So this is the Venn diagram that I want you to be thinking of. So now you've got a list. Now we want to think about narrowing it down. You could take your journaling responses and you could look for themes about how these things come together. I like to do it with like this. I get my highlighter pen out And I might start highlighting things in my journal, go, oh, that goes with that, goes with that. Or there's a theme here. My theme might be yellow. I might have a blue theme. I might have a pink theme. I might not have the answer, but I want you to put on your coach hat. And what I mean by that is I want you to hold space for yourself and not get all tight like you need to have the perfect answer in 5 minutes. I want you to get curious about it. What do I see? What do I see that's different that I love to do? Right? So you could use highlighters to find the themes. You could be curious and hold space and not say, I have to come up with the perfect niche in 2 minutes and 35 seconds or it's never going to work. It's okay to give yourself space and grace for this. Okay. And the other thing you can do is if you're looking at this and you're not somebody who easily sees patterns or themes, I've got another reference resource for you. So I've got a resource guide called 147 Proven Coaching Niches. And I'm going to put the link in the chat. And you can download that resource. And it actually has a list of 147, actually there's more, niches that people have chosen and used that I've created. But in there is also a step-by-step process where you can go through this big long list and you narrow it down and you narrow it down and you narrow it down. So if you're not somebody who easily sees these themes or these through lines, take that 147 proven niches and you can go and work on that later today or another day. Everybody has a different way of processing, and I wanted to help either kind of person. Do you see a theme that's showing up? Is there some kind of a theme that's showing up in the journaling that you've done? So what is to validate? What are we doing? We're looking at evidence that there are people that have this kind of challenge or goal and that they want help with the solution. That's what we're looking for. It's kind of like the fancy version of saying, do you think this niche is going to work or not? Do people actually want help with this? And for a new coach, it always helps to have a niche that has some proven demand. So that means that you are not going to be scared off if you decide you want to have this kind of a niche, but you see 5 other coaches with the same niche. That is 100% fine. That means that it's validated, that it's proven that it's probably a niche that will work. And even if your niche looks exactly like someone, so maybe you're helping somebody after a nasty divorce find the love of their life. There's multiple coaches who can help people do that, but there's only one of you. So the way that you talk about it, the life experience that you bring to it, the skills that you have, your history, your passion for this is going to be different than anybody else who has ever lived on this planet. And so even though outwardly the niche looks the same, the flavor of who you are that you bring to that niche is going to add your own special flavor. And so it will look the same on the outside, but you will attract the dream clients that are just right for you. So again, it's always good when you're validating a niche to see, do other people do something similar? That says that there's people who want it. And that's what is going to make our life easier. So 2 ways of doing it. First one, do a Google search or a YouTube search. Both of these work. Have a search. Are there dating coaches? Run a search in Google. Is there something there? Is there like 25 pages of potential coaches who say they're dating coaches? Good. That's good news. That means that it's a niche that could work for you. That means that you will have validated that niche. Now, if you ran a search and nobody shows up, you get to choose how you want to be. You can decide to be the front runner, the person that takes a niche that never existed before and work with it. But I find that takes coaches a little bit longer to sign clients. So I would way rather, if I was going to recommend something to you, choose a niche that is proven And then as time goes on and you're working with clients and you're enjoying your coaching business, you're making money and you're getting fully booked, start with something that's proven. And so looking in Google or looking in YouTube is going to give you a good sense for, are there people who do this kind of thing? So that's the first way to validate your niche. And the second way is this. You go onto Amazon and you want to go and look for books on that topic. Go and you run an Amazon search. Are there books in that area? And then read the book descriptions. And also have a look at the reviews, because the reviews are people generally who have bought the book and read it, and they cared enough to add an opinion. That means that there's people who are interested enough to put their energy into buying it, reading it, and adding their opinion. And that's a big sign that there is demand for help in that area. The highest level on Amazon is someone wrote a book about it. You could read that book description and the title, and you could see, oh, somebody cared enough to write a book about this. They put their energy into writing. They put their energy into creating it and promoting it. And then look at this, people bought it and gave you reviews. So right there, that is a wonderful way to validate a niche. Go on Amazon, look for books in that topic, read the description, read the reviews. So that's giving you a couple of really good solid ways of knowing, is this a niche that could potentially work? So that's it. And remember that once you've got your niche, it's going to be easier for you to attract and sign dream clients, to create content, to know where to find those clients are and to show up there so you can offer to help them. You can talk about what you do and who you help, and you can design and deliver a signature coaching package. And I help my clients do all of these things in the Coaching Success Circle. That's the group coaching program that I offer. And I also help my private clients do that as well. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. I hope these insights from my Nail Your Niche workshop inspired you and gave you some actionable steps to move forward with confidence. If you want to dive even deeper, be sure to check out the episode notes where I've linked into some amazing resources just for you, including 147 proven niches. It's the guide that I have that helps you find a niche that resonates with you the most. And if you're ready to take the next step, I would love to support you. Head on over to the show notes to learn more about how to work with me and how I can help you grow your coaching business. Until next time, keep believing in yourself and the incredible work that you were meant to do. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks again for listening today. Please hop on over to Apple Podcasts and leave a review. Also, I would love to hear from you. Did something that I say resonate? What else would you like to learn about? Click the link in the player and leave a comment on the post. This is going to give me great ideas for future episodes so I can help you best. Join me again next week for more coaching, support, and teaching to help you become the confident coach you are meant to be. Hey, it's Candy. Did you know that I have a quiz to help coaches choose their niche? Yeah, I do. It's super popular, and it has been taken more than 20,000 times. This is a fun quiz that takes you about 2 minutes to do, and it will probably give you way more clarity on choosing your best coaching niche. So now, whether you say niche or niche, it's going to work for you. And if you're a coach and you have been stuck in niche indecision, wondering what to do, then you should take my quiz and find out what you learn. You can take the quiz today at coachnichequiz.com. That's coachnichequiz.com. Okay, let's dive into this week's episode.